Hello and welcome to another IC3D tutorial. So in our previous video, we called out an area here on our 2D spinner, and that's our spinner labeled mesh. I want to show you guys how to take this mesh, connect to AI, and then create your own threads. So first things first is we want to create an actual threaded area, meaning we want to add art that looks like the threads we're aiming for. Create a link to Illustrator. That's going to open up Illustrator and our previous work. And as you can see, this is the artboard for that midsection, that little top neck. So from here, what we want to do is just add a line. So this is all going to be done using the line segment tool or the pen tool, again, either or. So all we have to do is add a line from the bottom here. You want to drag your line not straight, but you want to drag it up just slightly forward. This is going to wrap around to the back side. So if I hit update now, just so we can see what we're trying to accomplish. Our line here starts from the base and goes up slightly to the top. So using this information, what we need to do is create the line on the other end a little higher than our start so we can continue the threads and keep wrapping them around. So head back to AI, and the easiest way to do this is actually with the pen tool. So if you grab the back side and you just hold the shift key, go all the way to the front, that creates that really straight line that you can then use to create one more thread. And what that allows us to do, and if we go to our selection, we just want to delete that middle line. There we go. And that just makes sure that this top point is perfectly aligned with the start of the next point. So when we hit update, that is a nice continuous line. That is exactly what we're looking for. So from here, what I like to do is one more line. So shift all the way back. But this case, we're only going to go halfway forward. So we're not going all the way over here. We want to just go halfway. So right around here. That's perfect. And again, delete that bottom line. That's just an alignment line. That just helps us out. And then from here, we want to do that with the base as well, because we want to have this start from somewhere in the middle. Now, in this case, I'm actually just going to grab this anchor, and I'm just going to scoot it along its shape to right about here. Hitting update just to take a look at if we have made enough threads, or if we see here there's a little gap. So we just want to make sure to fix that. But that looks pretty good. Now, of course, if you wanted to add more or less threading, this is where you would go ahead and do that. So I could add, I'm actually going to just make this a little further like that. And then there's that gap at the end. I also want to clean this gap up. And again, just drawing that to the edge. So once you've matched the threading with your art, what we want to do then is take your lines and call these out as a spot color. So this is very important, as spot colors can be taken by IC3D and used for pretty much anything. So we're going to take this spot color, hit update, back to IC3D, making sure that the spot color has taken hold. There it is. Now what we want to do is go ahead and select our model. In this case, select our spinner label mesh number 2. And we're going to go into the Layers tab and hit Add Effects Layer. Inside of here, we've got our blue effects layer. And we just want to go ahead and call this Emboss, as we're going to be taking this spot color and embossing it on top of our cap, on top of our bottle. From here, that's all we really need to do. And I'm going to call this out as, again, just an aluminum, as I just want to see the color change so I know when I can move on to the next step. From here, hit OK. That should send that to the scene. You'll see emboss pop up in your layers. And once everything takes effect, you'll also see that aluminum color replace our blue. So from here, what we want to do is just call this now out as a embossing, because we just named it emboss. That's IC3D can't really read that, but what it can read is our bump depth. So if we increase this bump depth, you're going to notice a fake normal map will be applied, creating false threads. Now, of course, if this is good enough for what you need for your render, this is where you could stop and render out. But if you want to really see those threads popping out on the sides, you're going to need to take it a step further. So from here, once we've called out a bump depth, just go ahead and hit save. And we're going to then go back to our template library. We're going to be using the tool called Bump Displacement. With our model selected, go ahead and drag Bump Displacement onto the scene. This should open up your bottle in this little IC3D template window. And inside of here, what we want to do is just a small displacement. This is how much will it kind of protrude from our model. And then I like to increase the mesh smoothness and decrease the edge smoothness, just slightly. Hitting update to view how we've done. As you can see now, we now have some clean threads at the top of our bottle. We can edit this as many times as we'd like, but once we hit save to the model, we can't really change it, so all we can do is undo. But remember that this is now creating new geometry for your 3D model. So once we hit save to the model, that is now physically bumping out on our cap. So what we can do is actually just grab this label here and just delete it. That's going to allow us to just see our cap there, just see our threads, and that should be perfect for what we need for our final render. I hope you guys enjoyed this two-part IC3D tutorial on creating this bottle using the 2D spinner tool, and then taking it a step further in creating threads using our bump displacement tool as well as a spot color. I hope you guys have learned a lot. My name's Adam Chop, and stay tuned for more IC3D tutorials.